All right, guys, I just watched a film called Down a Dark Hall, starring Uma Thurman, Anna Sophia Robb, the little girl from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. She played Violet Beauregard. She was also in The Bridge of Terabithia. And we also have another child actress that has grown up herself, and that is Esther from Orphan. So she is actually grown up in this movie, and it was interesting to see two, actors that are now in their 20s uh, that I know as children in pretty popular kids movies once upon a time. This is based off of a Lois Duncan novel. The woman responsible for I Know What You Did Last Summer, and so it has a PG-13 rating as well. So when I went into this, I expected it to be for teens, and it wasn't a bad movie at all, in my opinion. I thought that this was pretty atmospheric. Yes, it's catered to a younger audience, but not so much so that it takes the enjoyability out of it for adults. I'm an adult and I enjoyed it, so I personally thought it was very well made. This is from the director of Buried with Ryan Reynolds, which I'm a big fan of. The writer of this also wrote Buried as well, so this is a writer-director team here. And I thought that the production value on this film was really high. I thought the acting in this film was really good. I thought that the storyline, the motives, the ending, the wrap-up, all that stuff really worked well. I genuinely thought that the story was intriguing. I believed the motives. I believed the reveals, and I actually thought what was happening and what ended up being what was going on was pretty cool and actually made a good amount of sense. Yes, it's supernatural, so all things considered, of course, but I thought it was a cool PG-13 film. People have to realize that there have to be some mid-range horror films out there. There's more kid-friendly horror movies, there's more adult horror films, and then there has to be a middle ground for people who are kind of transitioning between the two. And I think that this is a really good middle ground film. It doesn't, completely, I don't know. I don't feel like adults are going to be sitting here and just being like, oh God, what is this nonsense? It's not like a Twilight or anything like that. That's not how this film feels. I think that there's genuine atmosphere in it. I think that technically it's super well made. Yes, there will be people who are like, this is super lame. Of course, there's always those people. But I thought it was pretty damn good for what it was, going in knowing what to expect with a PG-13 and a Lois Duncan novel adaptation. I was pleasantly surprised by this. I am surprised that there's very little people talking about it. I'm sure they all saw the PG-13 Lois Duncan thing and avoided it, thinking it would be teenage garbage. It is not teenage garbage. It is good teenage horror, and I enjoyed myself. So if anyone's seen it, let me know what you thought about it. I would like to know anyone else who's seen this, because I don't know anyone else who has. And with Uma Thurman being in it, it actually having a good production value, and it being a horror film that was just recently released at Redbox, I would think I'd be hearing more about it, but I'm not, which is a shame, because it is a pretty good movie that I'm sure will be getting all sorts of unwarranted hate from people who won't even bother seeing it. So, I don't know. Check it out if that seems like something you'd be into. I don't want to get too into the synopsis, but I guess I could just give a quick one. Anna Sophia's character is a rebel, or she is screwing around in her life, and so she is shipped away to this school for special girls. And while they're there, they kind of hone in on their special talents, and they start to progress in them faster than they ever thought possible before, and they can't figure out why. The school is run by Uma Thurman's character, who is a pretty tough lady, and the place in which they are staying is out in the middle of nowhere in a pretty creepy setting just in general. So overall, I thought all of that worked pretty well. And as I said, I did like the explanations and what was going on. So I was a fan. I say check it out if you're, somebody who doesn't have to have a full-on adult horror movie. All right, let me know if you check it out. All right, guys.